Hey everyone, it's the James and Greg Show.
It's week 5 of the Amazing Race.
Yes, and that means
Double U-turn.
double U-turn.
Yes, it's a double U-turn.
Oh my gosh, who's gonna use it? Who won't?
Stick around.
Ah!
Week 5.
Yes, it's the dreaded U-turn week. Ah!
Double U-turn even. So the team started in Nice, France,
Nisi Nash.
and went
I
to
love me some Nisi Nash.
Prague in the Czech Republic.
Yes. Now, Prague.
How did they get there, James?
Oh my gosh, they got there with their easy-to-use new Travelocity app. It's really functional. You just press a few buttons and book flights instantly.
That looks so easy, James. Even I could do it.
Oh my God, I love Travelocity. Greg, download the app now. That was our sponsor,
Yeah.
Travelocity.
Well, we don't have a sponsor.
I know, we're doing it for free, Greg.
Oh, okay.
So maybe one day they will sponsor our show.
Yeah.
Thanks,
And
Travelocity.
we can have a free spa. So, what was weird about this is the double U-turn was at the beginning of the leg, not at the end.
Which I thought was more exciting, but then,
Well,
you'll see.
yes, so they were split. The teams are split into 2 groups. 4
Right.
teams on the first flight, 3 teams on the second flight,
Yes.
an hour apart.
It was, yes. And then they all got there, except 2 teams got there about an hour later.
No, 3 teams got there an hour later.
Oh, 3 teams got there an hour
Right.
later.
So what
Who
happened?
was last? Who got there last? I know Jessica and Cody got there
Yes,
on the second.
Jessica and Cody, Team Indy, and the violinists.
Oh, yes.
So what happened? The first 4 teams get there. They don't do the double U-turn, and they have to choose
They're like, no,
between.
because they strategically say no for what reason?
Well, bad karma, because if you do the double U-turn, it always bites you in the ass.
Yes, it gets you back.
This is very early in the race, and you don't want to pit the teams against
Don't
you.
do it in the early part of the race.
And if you're in the very front, and you know there's a lot of teams at least an hour behind you, strategically it doesn't make sense to have to use it. Let those last teams be the bad guys.
Right.
So, yeah, I turned to Serena and said, you do not do it on this leg. Not if you're in the first
Nope,
thing.
you
No.
don't.
So
So who does?
So, so the last 3 teams get there, and I turned to Serena and said, "Who's going to have the guts to double
Oh,
U-turn
I
someone
could tell you
right
that
in
right
front
now.
of the team?"
I
Because
could-
they were all booked up together.
Yeah, they were all right there together, getting to the box, and guess who does it? The wonderful team of Big Brother, Cody and Jessica.
I mean, strategy-wise, it made sense, but you're doing it right in front of the other team.
Right,
that
they
you're
see
doing to.
it. I mean,
So-
and it's like,
And they did it to the violinist.
yeah, who happened to be
Last.
probably last and the nicest, actually. So,
Yeah.
like, they didn't even seem bitter after it was done. They didn't seem bitter doing the challenges. They weren't mad at Jessica and Cody. Other people were mad at Jessica and Cody.
And for
but
other
they
reasons,
weren't.
too.
Yes.
So the detour was this, or, I want to be Phil, this, or that.
I guess I'm that. Because that...
You're all that.
Actually, I would rather do this in a snap, but that was the hardest thing in my mind. So this was... Tell them what this was.
Was going to the brewery.
Yes.
You had to take a stack of
Kegs.
mostly empty kegs, move them to another pallet, rebuild it, and obviously in the middle, on the bottom of that stack, is a filled keg.
And that's where you tap it.
You have to tap it, put the perfect head on it for the perfect pour,
Ooh.
take it to the brewmaster, then take that keg and haul it to this boat, but they didn't know it was a boat.
Yeah, you didn't know it was a boat. You just knew it was an address and blah, blah, blah. But it was a boat on the river, like a barge.
Right.
Okay, that...
That was the first one. Most of them did it.
Yes.
3 teams decided to do that.
That, which was an astronomy lesson. Oh my gosh, it was so hard. It was all about like 6,200 to 16 miles. Like numbers that just get jumbled in your brain if you're not a numbers person.
It was the discussion between, is the Earth round or is the Earth flat?
Right. And there was the debate about that, and then you had to just memorize a whole bunch of things, and you didn't know what your question's going to be for the oral exam.
Right.
So
the first team in were the firefighters.
for the
For that.
for astronomy lesson.
And they went and sat through both arguments, went and did the oral exam, asked the first question, didn't know it, and then they turned to each other and go, you know what? Why don't we just listen to the part to the next question?
That was smart.
So we will build up till we get
Just keep coming back and forth. Go back and forth, back and forth.
Awesome idea.
Good strategy, because you don't get in trouble for going back and forth.
Oh, but they weren't the first ones there. My mistake. Lifeguards were there first.
Lifeguards were there first. They said, this is not, we're C students. We don't do this. Bye-bye.
So they went to go to the brewery.
We were out surfing while people were studying. You know what? If I got to study and go back and forth to my teacher with the answer,
right,
I'd be like A+ myself. So I thought that was a great idea.
Smart.
So that is like
so smart.
If they learned that in school, just to go back and forth like that, that was a good education.
And the opposite side of being so smart was Team Big Brother.
Oh.
They walked into the wrong lecture hall, and it was in Polish. And this is not English. We're going to do the other one. Didn't check to see if they're in the right place. Didn't look for the flag.
We don't speak a Polish. I can't even. That's Italian with Polish in it. Oh, that's what my mother was when I was born.
And then after the violinist got U-turned and performed the other side of the clue,
yes,
they came into this one and zoomed through it. They got all but the next to last question of the first time. Then they went back in and got that answer and finished it.
My gosh, those violin boys are smart. They know. They said they were doing their memorization with their fingers somehow, because they do that with instruments of some sort. I know you have to be like a math person to do instruments.
But out of these, I was so impressed by Team Extreme on how they handled the beer task.
Oh, I was too.
And then the twins and the violinist on how they handled this part of the task. That part of the task.
I was not impressed with IndyCar. That's what we're calling them now.
Toad Boy.
His Toad Boy. IndyCar, not impressed. Team Yale, she was getting a little snippy.
A little micromanaging there.
Oh. Like, hey, if you're going to change the plan, you need to speak up about it.
Or pouring the beer. Oh, if you're going to try that, we should discuss it first. Do we talk about which way you wipe?
I wonder who works for her. Because they're going to have a not fun job.
No.
What is her job, by the way?
They're still in Yale, so they're debaters.
Wait, they're still at school?
That's my impression.
They look old for school now. Well, you know what? You're never too old to go to school. Okay.
So, after they did the detour, they had to go to a beer spa.
Oh my God, that was the weirdest thing. My eyes were hurting from that. It was old men with gray hair that grew really bushy like this, but they were sitting in beer baths with their drippy gray hair and drinking it and pouring it on themselves. And people were asking are those bubbles from the beer or from their bodies?
And they would pull the clues out of the spa. And I think the violinist said, Where did he pull that from?
Yes, he did. At least the clue was covered in some kind of plastic baggie.
Right.
Still gross.
And someone said there's butt in that beer.
Anyway, that was just a weird thing.
Just to stop, and then they went to the roadblock. Now, this was from season 15.
Oh, my favorite.
Season 15.
The phones.
It's the Kafka one. Now,
okay.
As Phil reminded us, and he seemed kind of upset about it.
Yes, he did.
The Globetrotters team, this is where they took a penalty, and Phil had to wait overnight at the pit stop for them to show up.
He was like, I had to wait overnight for this. It was terrible.
Now, I think if you don't do a challenge, it's a 3-hour or 4-hour penalty.
Yes.
I think it's a 3-hour.
Wow.
Yeah, so you just sit on your hands and go.
I don't know why they couldn't. Well, I don't care about the Globetrotters. That's old.
So basically, you had to pick up the phone out of this room full of phones, all ringing, old phones, find the 8 words, and put together a Kafka phrase.
Yes. And people work together.
Well, yeah, several of the teams worked together.
Right away.
Team Extreme went in, did it herself.
She did it herself, and she messed up a few times and then got it.
And she guessed, because she's thinking of Kafka being dark anyway.
Right, she didn't have a right word.
Yeah, so. She did that right. Then Team Yale and the firefighters worked together.
Yes, they did.
He heard wife, and they were writing down the final words and wife's not. Maybe it's life. Life, yeah,
life.
They tried it.
Boom, boom.
And he did most of the work, if you notice.
I did notice that.
Didn't get most of the words. The twin did, which was awesome. And then
That makes you happy because you love that underdog team.
I know they're, like I said, they're my dark horse. And then
Okay.
the last 3 teams work together too,
Yeah.
without the violinists because they weren't there.
Right.
And who lied about one of the words working together? That's right.
Jessica lied.
She
Or she doesn't remember that she lies because that's how good she lies. Because she fooled herself.
She should be president. So anyway, the 3 of them worked together and then when they got to the final part to turn it in, she was like, "Oh, guys, I'm going to try something different."
I put it on my pad differently than everybody else. And then so
Oh.
she gets it and starts running out the door and then says, as she's leaving, "Oh, it's life."
Well, no, they asked her, and you could tell that pause of whether she was going to give it to him or not.
Uh-huh.
And then she goes, "Yeah, blah, it's live."
Yeah. She had to really.
And then she split, and it's good messaging. I mean, it's good positioning and strategy for her, but it's still early. They're only halfway through. So
And the 2 other teams she was working with both were upset and were like, "We're going to get her back."
And the other teams are going to talk.
They're going to talk about her and her behavior. And Cody's behavior is just as bad. Just prepare for this.
So
He protects her to a fault.
So they all get out of the roadblock. The team order is Team Extreme, and then the twins and Yell basically show at the same time because they work together.
Yep.
And then the Indie Boys show up, and then the lifeguards.
Yep.
But then Big Brother, and,
Ocean Rescue, they like to be called.
yeah, Big
Ocean
Brother
Rescue.
and the violinist, Well Strung, were kind of neck and neck because the way it was cut together.
The way it was cut together, I mean,
It was close, but not that close.
no,
as
it
it
was
was
probably a half hour apart at least.
because the lighting was different when they were running to the
much
map.
different. That's what I was going to say.
And they can only now. One of the things I noticed that they're teasing because Phil was like to the first 2 sets of teams that came in. Whoa, that was really unexpected when they did the head-to-head, wasn't it? Oh, you're the team. It was really unexpected when we did the head-to-head in this race so far, wasn't it? You're supposed to say yes.
Yes.
Well, we're only halfway through, and there may be some other surprises on the race.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. So, what do you think it is? Because there's a couple of things they haven't done yet. Several seasons ago, they used to do called an intersection, where you
Right.
get to this task and you have to wait for another team, and then you do it together with the team.
Oh, well, I know what it is.
What?
They're going to switch teams.
Oh, you're right. We've seen that in the preview. They're
You
gonna
have to switch partners.
Probably at a stop, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Cody will have to do it with somebody. That would be my nightmare to have to do this thing with Cody.
With Jess would be for me, especially if it's one of the teams she pissed off just now.
Yeah, I know. I actually don't mind her as much as I mind him. I don't know why he just bugs the bejesus out of me.
But so yeah, you're right. That's probably what it is.
That's
'Cause
probably
I was
what it is.
I was going to say they haven't done the express pass yet.
Yeah.
They haven't done this intersection that they did only once. So, but yeah, switching partners one time. We'll see how it
Yeah.
goes.
That's it, right? So
Yeah.
bye-bye to the violinists.
Yeah, it's a shame. And
It's a shame because they were very smart and they were starting to show their real characters. You know what they said at the end though?
What?
Here, I wrote it down because it was so weird. I hate him so much and I'm going to continue to hate him for so long. Are they playing that? I hate him so much and I'm going to continue to hate him for so long. Are they playing that game that you play in elementary school where you say hate but you mean love?
No, they're talking about the fact how well they got along, and it's a shame that the race is over. And they were like, "Oh well, too bad I hate them," and then that started the whole thing.
I think they were playing that elementary school game where you substitute hate for love.
Oh well, that too.
Because I
But,
love
yeah.
him so much and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life loving him.
Are you saying that to me or no? I got it. So anyway, let us know what you think of this episode. I thought it was an awesome one. I really did.
Yeah, I love it because it was an hour. Woo!
I think we're back to 2 hours next week.
We are.
I'll put right here whether it is or not. Anyway, hey, thanks for sticking around. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching the James and Greg Show.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. You know what we need you to do now?
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Yes.
And then share this, like it, and comment on each video.
Yeah, you'll see lots of special guests.
Yeah, and watch our episodes. We do recaps of your favorite shows. We have little adventures, and we have special guests.
And sometimes we're funny.
Subscribe.